Someone else spectacular that's a member of this program is Lisa Lanier, and she's on the line. Biggie got her, tracked her down.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do an emergency session here of Lawyer Up. We usually do it on Fridays, but this story calls for it. It's a guy in Boynton Beach, Florida, went to a car wash last December, Motor City Car Wash, and his name is Arthur Sotloff, and he slipped down while he was there. And it just says here in the very legalese written article saying that he slipped down and suffered an injury. He aggravated a previously existed condition, and he can no longer work. He has problems leading a normal life, and he's suing the car wash for money in excess of $30,000. The car wash's defense is, it's a car wash.
We use water.
He says they didn't have signs up saying slippery when wet. Now, I will say this. I never go to the car wash. So Chris Demm does. I haven't been to a car wash in a long time.
Right.
Chris Demm does.
They changed radically.
Yes.
They changed radically. And you know, Dave and I talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now you do most of the work yourself. You do the vacuuming yourself. There are still full service out there.
They're just not near us.
But they're the new ones are popping up where you do the vacuuming, you do the cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the car still goes through the tunnel.
But you vacuum.
You're in it. It soaks up and everything and dries. But then you do the windows. Right. You do the drying.
Now, vacuuming's included normally now.
The vacuuming is included in the price?
Well, yeah. I mean,
the vacuums are free.
They have extra.
Oh, I see.
Everything is free over at the work.
But you do it.
But they're super good vacuums.
So tell me this. Are there signs up everywhere saying, watch your step?
I've never seen a one.
Let's see what Lisa has to say about this. That's what this car wash is saying. Motor City says.
I don't recall seeing anyone.
Car wash. Lisa, hello. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I hope you guys are.
Doing very well, thank you. Now, tell us what you think in this case. When I first read this, I thought, this guy's out of luck. You're at a car wash. You know what the deal is here. You know it's possible you could slip down. There's water everywhere. There's suds everywhere. What do you think?
Well, he has a better chance than you would think because it happened in Florida. And Florida has some of the most liberal premises liability laws in the nation because most states, the majority of states, the owner of land or a building, a shop, a store, or whatever, has no duty to correct dangerous conditions. They only have a duty to warn of non-obvious dangerous conditions. And that's the majority rule. But in Florida, they actually have a duty to keep the premises safe. And if there's anything that is dangerous, or they have to fix it, and they're also supposed to warn. So it's a much more, and it's a comparative negligence state. So if he did something, like maybe he walked somewhere he wasn't supposed to walk or something like that, he got confused, that doesn't bar his recovery. It just reduces his recovery by the amount of negligence that he put into it, that he had going on.
Yeah.
So, I think the other thing that's going to be the hardest about his case, though, is when people have pre-existing conditions that are aggravated, because juries tend to kind of look at the whole injury, like whatever he suffered, if surgery or whatever, like a pie. And they have to figure out, like, what slices of the pie were pre-existing and what slices of the pie were new because of the fall. And that often really greatly reduces the amount that the person recovers.
Lisa, I've gone pescatarian. I'm very, very pro-pie right now. You're really making me hungry.
Kelly doesn't understand.
Woo! You start talking about pie. I better not be in the jury for this guy. They start talking about the pie.
Could you slice up a salmon?
Yeah. Yes. Let me ask you this. If you open a car wash in Florida, are you told you'd better put signs up? Because especially here in Florida and states like Florida, if someone slips and falls, your liability, better chance of paying out.
No, I don't think there's any sort of education unless your insurance company. Your insurance company may give you, as a business owner, they may give you some information about it. But the thing is, I think what he was saying was that he was walking in an area that is designated for customers, not where the cars are being washed.
Right.
And that was the key. He was saying, it wasn't like he walked through the part where his car was going through. He walked in an area that was a customer waiting area or whatever, and somebody had tracked a substance. And it wasn't even water. He said it was some other slippery substance had been spilled in there. So I think
it's cleaner.
I think I think it makes it a little bit more understandable why under Florida law that he would recover there.
Do you think he would?
I'm almost always pro car wash.
Well, yeah, I was on the car wash's side. Let's say you were in a different state that is much more difficult to sue like this. It seems like even still, if there's a slippery substance in a customer area where you're supposed to be walking, that he would still have a good case. Do you think?
Not in states that have this, that the duty is only to warn of non-obvious dangerous conditions, because most of the time they're able to make the argument for the car wash that if you're looking where you're going, you're going to see this, unless it's like a clear liquid or something that was pretty much invisible. But it's rare that a substance is invisible.
Would you say that in Florida, let's say there's a grape on a grocery store floor or a banana peel, and you slip and fall and hurt yourself, same thing, easier to sue in Florida?
It's always going to be easier to sue, because of their lower standard and their comparative negligence and whatnot. But you still have to show that, and this is sort of a classic law school case about the squished grape. You have to show, or the squished banana peel, that it had been there for such a length of time that a reasonable owner of the premises would have discovered it. And so you literally get into this testimony about how squished up was the piece of fruit, like how long had it been there. And so but that's what matters, because if somebody just dropped it and stepped on it, and then 5 minutes later you come through, the store owner doesn't have a duty there. Because why would they have noticed that 5 minutes later?
Right. That makes perfect sense. Really interesting, especially
cameras.
Show how long everywhere. Show how long the grape is there. I bet now that there are cameras in most places, it's easier to show how long that grape was there.
And you've also, with cameras, you see people fake falls.
Oh,
way more than you know.
Lots.
They used to do it. You just see it now.
I have seen people crawling down onto the floor.
Hilarious. Hilarious. They ease themselves down to the floor and then can't move their back or their knee.
That's right. There's a grape there or whatever.
It's been 20 years. I can probably tell this story now. When I was a young man working at the pizza place, it was a rainy night. We had a lady come in, and she slipped. And the manager at the time, real seedy guy, ran out the back door with the wet floor sign, ran to the front of the store and put it in front of the front door.
I admire that.
Wow.
So that way, and we were helping her up, and he's like, I guess you didn't see the sign.
No, that's good business. That's good business.
Now Executive Vice President.
He's Papa John. He's the king.
That's right.
He's the new Papa.
Right.
He's the new Papa John.
Well, because she went down hard and screamed, and we were like, oh my God, and he took off running. And I'm like, where is he going?
He was at the ready.
And he had run around the back door
I
to
like
the front.
Golly.
That's right.
Shady.
Learn a lesson. That's how it's done. Lisa, is that good business? What's the statute of limitations on
You're
that?
saying you can't get away with that anymore. You can't get away with that anymore because now the security camera would catch him doing that.
Yeah. Fantastic legal expertise as always, Lisa. Thanks for joining us on a non-Friday.
Absolutely. I enjoy it.
We'll talk to you again in a few days. Bye. There she goes, Lisa Lanier, our official attorney of this program. Lawyer Up is coming up Friday. You can get her at lanierlawgroup.com if you have any legal issues as well. Yeah. Some sports dirt here. We mentioned about Kyle Busch. We had some audio from the race yesterday. It was not about Kyle Busch. And then Chris Demm said, you see what the Shrub said after the race? He dropped the R word. He was talking about another driver, and he's apologized for it. Who was the driver that he was talking?
Brad Keselowski.
That's my boy.
That's your boy, Kaz.
Now, I like Kaz. You know that.
No, you do.
So Kyle Busch was talking about him and called him the R word.
Where was he going? What was he going to do? Spin me out? He was trying to do a Harvick is what he was trying to do. For what? For second place? To do what? He wasn't going to transfer through with that. Just freaking man. So stupid. I don't understand these guys.
Now, he didn't call him an R word. He said he is the R word.
He said it's blanking blank.
It is blanking blank. He says he's learned his lesson. He apologized. It's a word he should never use. And so he's trying to move on from it. Any more backlash from this, do you think?
Not that I've seen.
No, he's just going to
I think
apologize.
it may be sensitivity training and back in the NASCAR hauler.
Yeah. He'll get a lot out of it, I'm sure. He won't use it again. He said he's learned
Your words you want to say about Keselowski. These words you can say about Keselowski. He's a blamed fool. Good.
Okay.
Does NASCAR have a PC person always on hand, do you think?
Oh, I think so.
They might as well keep somebody at the track at all times.
I do think so.
I think every sport does.
Here comes the PC truck. Rolls in on Friday.
PC truck. He just gets in the back of it and they take him out for sensitivity
That's
training.
a Winnebago. Go to the PC wagon.
It's a little Prius.
There's a line outside.
Has to be a Prius. Has to be one of those.
It's crew
vehicles.
chiefs and owners.
All standing out there waiting their turn.
Yeah.
Sports dirt. Charles Barkley shares advice for talking bad about other people. He's talking to John Gruden now. He says, I never write emails. He says, I have never composed.
Never write emails?
Charles Barkley says, I don't know how to compose an email. I could not sit down at my computer and compose an email. He said, don't ever leave a trail. Don't ever do it where microphones pick it up. Like with Kyle Busch. Don't ever write it down like with John Gruden.
Are we to believe that Charles never sent a text to his buddies that could be screen capped?
He said, now that's texting he's got to do.
Maybe he's a phone call guy.
Well, he's not on social media, Charles Barkley.
Maybe he is just a phone call guy.
It's
Don't
possible,
text me.
I suppose. He says that he actually said, look, all you idiots and fools and jackasses out there, it's all right to talk bad about people. We all do it. Just don't leave a paper trail. Don't do it on camera. I talk bad about people all the time, the old-fashioned way, behind their backs. That's how it's to be done.
Well,
don't let anybody know it. And then he said, this is Charles Barkley, he said, I have never, ever composed an email. When someone sends me one, I'll respond. I've never started up an email. Don't know how to do it. Don't know how to initiate an email. He only responds.
He must be using that new Gmail suite that we got.
Yeah. That is kind of hard.
Chris Demm can't write one either.
I'll tell you, since we've changed over to Gmail suite, it's just a little pencil up in the top left corner. Christian, I don't know.
Why do they do that? Why do they make the thing that you use the most difficult to find?
I know. It's harder. It used to say, like, write an email, or something like that, or start an email. And now it's just a little pencil.
There's lots of computer platforms that are like that, like to put in vacation time, or it's like you've got to go dig around. It's like that should be the main thing.
Yeah.
Where's my pay, and how do I put in my vacation?
This is not on the topic, but sometimes when we're ordering food from restaurants, it takes 3 clicks to get to a menu page.
A menu.
All I want is a menu.
Of course, it's all you want.
You should have your hours on the landing page. I get that. But your menu should be there, too.
You're right. People should make it as easy to use as possible.
Yeah, they don't want to hear about, they want to read about your restaurant, or why you're doing it, or when you were growing up, you wanted to be a chef. Where's the menu, and are you open?
That's a good point.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
And lately, when I hit my little electronic pencil on my email, nothing happens. So I hit it again. Nothing happens. Then I go to a different page because I'm mad and I curse. Then I come back, and there are 3 blank pages. Looks like you're writing a lot of emails, Chris.
Well, you're just not giving enough time.
Yeah. Not enough time. It's supposed to happen instantaneously.
Can you verify this is you, Chris? I need you to verify your email.
There's 4 open pages. It must be you.
This is for your safety. Gmail suite.
Well,
nothing sweet about it.
Listen, I have tried to buy that Dogecoin for the last 4 days.
You're trying to get crypto.
Shiba. I'm trying to buy Shiba.
It is the crookedest thing.
And every time I go to Coinbase, I've logged in and everything. And then when I do it, I'm like, oops, somebody else has this account. I'm like, no, they don't. That's me. That's me from earlier. That's me. And yesterday we're going to text you a code. And I was like, all right, I got the code. I put it in. They're still like, oops.
Wrong code.
Wrong code. Verify it's you. And then one time they sent me a code. They said, you have 30 seconds to put in this code. And
yeah, it's usually timed.
Yeah. That's crooked, man. Well, why don't you just take a big pile of cash and throw it up towards a cloud?
I feel like I'm going to wind up being or somebody else is going to wind up being a millionaire. My friend Jared, who got me into this.
Yeah.
That figures.
Is he rich?
Not yet, but I'm afraid he's going to be, and I'm going to be sitting here holding the bag with nothing in it.
Or it'll be gone. It'll be something else. Now it'll be the Shabubu coin.
Well,
Shadoobie.
I told you how I got into this. He walked into the office and said, I assume you're into crypto. I said, of course I am. And
Who are you calling a crypto?
He's like, are you on this new coin? I said, Dogecoin. He's like, oh, no, man. That's yesterday's news. It's all about Shiba now. He's also, Chris Tim just told me he's now done 13 sports podcasts, and he invited me to only one. The second one he invited me to, and now this is
13.
This is Sports Dirt. Apparently, I was so bad on that. That is the least watched, least listened to, and most thumbs down of all his podcasts. And so he's only invited me to one.
Golly! And one of the big stories of the week was involves your team, the Broncos.
It was the Von Miller, and there he's looking. He's like, any Broncos fans around here? Don't raise your hand just yet. He'll say to me, that's it. Speaking of football. Guess who was at the Bills game on Sunday?
Hey, Twitter world, it's me, yours truly.
That's right.
What? Who let him in?
For what appears to be a luxury suite as well. He wasn't like down in the stands. Well, guess who's at the Bills game?
At one of my favorite places. We call it Rich Stadium back then. Hard to believe that it was like 48 years ago that we opened this stadium. And it was a year that I gained 2,000 yards. And I got to add, it was only in 14 games back then. Now they're talking about building a new stadium. That tells me I'm getting really old. But today, I'm here to watch my Buffalo Bills kick some butt. I'm just saying.
That's OJ.
Just saying.
Don't you hate that you kind of like him?
Yes. Yes. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, oh, man, this guy's so much fun, but he kills people. I can't like him. I'm sorry. And I know what Biggie's thinking. If I had been at the Buffalo game and in his suite.
Oh, my God.
Can we get a selfie?
OJ, when you get a minute.
Hey. Can I get a selfie? But I can't tell anyone.
But I hate him. I can't stand. Listen to him up there. I mean, hey, yours truly. I'm just saying. You can't be in a luxury suite at the building. You should have seen his tickets. He had great seats.
I didn't know he could be in New York State.
I thought he had to be in Nevada or wherever he is, or California. Yeah, he's all the way across the country.
I'll be dang.
How long has he been out? Is he off probation?
It's been a while.
I think he's probably off.
He's probably out for good as long as he behaves.
3, 4, 5 years now that he's been out of prison and now back on Twitter again. And I don't think he ever reads the comments below because a lot of people still hold a lot of anger toward OJ. But yeah, he's out there, man. Yeah. Just living. I tell you.
Like Goldman's dad's not waiting outside the door of that stadium, just waiting for him.
God, I'll tell you, I wouldn't put it past. Goldman's dad is so mad at him, and he's now getting into his 80s, I imagine. Fred Goldman, if he were like diagnosed with cancer, he might go after him.
He'd go ahead and go after him.
You know, why not?
Put me in prison the rest of my life. Give me the chair.
He might. He might do something.
Just to avenge his kid's death.